Well, finally! It's Iceberg Day! Sunday the 14th of April 1912, and I'm standing on these stairs, which don't belong to me, and which represent the prow of the ship as Titanic cuts through the ocean. Lads, I think you're gonna want to see this! In James Cameron's 1997 film, which has an 89% rating on Rotten Tomatoes but only 7.8 on IMDb, the crew are depicted as becoming rather panicked at this point. In reality, they were likely much calmer, even leisurely. According to one eyewitness, after receiving the alert, the crew went downstairs for drinks before returning to their posts to deal with that whole iceberg thing. The iceberg fucked into the Titanic on the starboard side. Now, I've prepared a diagram here, but by accident it's of the port side, so you'll have to use your imagination. If you can't do that, try watching this next sequence in a mirror. Look, you'll have to forgive the crudity of the diagram, but all the ones on Google had watermarks, whereas mine only has a water line. The side of the ship opened up like a zipper on a novelty pencil case, and like a rude visitor not closing a door, the iceberg let a lot of water in behind it. Allegedly, this is a photograph of the iceberg that sunk the Titanic. It's believed that shortly after the incident, it fled to South America and changed its name. You'll note from the detail here that there were lifeboats stored on either side of the first funnel. During the sinking, one of these lifeboats fell onto the deck and landed upside down, and it was too heavy for the crew to turn over. The tragedy is that if Frankenstein's monster had been on board, and had people addressed him nicely, he might have been able to help. I mentioned James Cameron earlier, bending the truth to fit his sick agenda. But he also courted controversy when he depicted one of the ship's officers shooting two passengers before turning the gun on his own brain. This historically dubious sequence is probably inaccurate and indeed pretty insulting. In reality, it's far more likely that the officer would have mown down several dozen passengers with a machine gun before blowing himself up. Finally, here I am standing in a bath to replicate the sensation of being on board a sinking ship, and I feel obliged to say it's not pleasant. So join me again tomorrow when both the water and the story get just that bit deeper. Good night.